The Dragon Ball story is one that many of us are aware of, and because of that, some of you will think that this video is a pointless one. And yeah, it's pretty redundant if you know all of this already. But this isn't for you, it's for the fans that can't seem to keep track of the story chronologically, be it for whatever reason, especially DBS. So in this video, I'll be going over the Dragon Ball story, listing every saga, the big villain from that saga, the goals of our heroes and the villain, as well as other key details that I believe should be stated, character deaths, births, transformations, etc. Now I must state that I'll only be going over every major saga, not including the smaller sagas within the larger sagas. However, I will include a number of tournament sagas, but yeah, with that, let's jump straight into it. As of now, the Dragon Ball series consists of 20 canon arcs if we're counting the original 3 tournament sagas of Dragon Ball. The first arc to kick off this legendary series was the hunt for the Dragon Balls, and like the name implies, the main goal for our heroes in this saga was to obtain these 7 wish orbs and make a wish. Within this saga, this is where we meet a plethora of characters, namely Goku, Bulma, Master Roshi, Turtle, Chi-Chi, the Ox King, Yamcha, Puar, Oolong, and the Pilaf Gang. And out of those characters, only Yamcha, Oolong, and Puar join Goku and Bulma on their adventures, leaving the others for later sagas in the series. Now, the big bad, if you want to call them that, was the Pilaf Gang, and just like our heroes, they had the goal of making a wish. Pilaf wanted the Dragon Balls in order to rule the world with his iron mitten. As for the good guys, Bulma wanted a boyfriend, Yamcha wanted to overcome his fear of women, and Oolong wanted panties. Ironically, they all obtained their wishes, everyone except for poor Pilaf. With that being said, the most notable things that happened within this saga in terms of key moments was Goku using the Kamehameha for the first time in the series, the introduction of the Grade 8 transformation, and the reveal of Shinran, which was a big thing back then, not so much now. As for the fights, besides Yamcha vs Goku, there aren't any notable ones seeing as Dragon Ball was focused more on comedy and adventure at this time. The second saga to grace our eyes was the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. It was the first tournament saga of the series, and almost every tournament following this one in a way copies its format. In this saga, we're introduced to Krillin, Jackie Chun, who is Master Roshi in disguise, just in case you couldn't tell, and a long forgotten character, Launch. Besides these 3, a lot of other characters are more minor ones like Nam. So when it comes to the major villain of the saga, well, you won't find one here, unless you want to count Girin. Now, addressing the goals of our heroes, well, it was to win the tournament, like every other tournament saga, and the point of this saga was for Roshi to teach Goku and Krillin that there will always be someone out there stronger than them, so that they can always strive to better themselves. The most notable things that happened within this saga were Goku and Krillin's training with the Turtle Hermit Roshi prior to the tournament, Yamcha vs Roshi, Krillin vs Roshi, Goku vs Roshi, and within that fight, we see Grade 8 Goku and Roshi destroying the moon. Relatively simple saga, just like many tournament sagas, but it's the first and it really made waves. The third saga that kept the train going was the Red Ribbon Army Saga. I'm taking into account the General Blue Saga to the Fortune Teller Baba Saga, only because Goku kind of had one goal throughout all these sagas, which was originally to look for the 4-star ball, but it would later change into getting all of them in order to revive a man named Bora. Speaking of which, the characters this saga introduced us to was Android 8 or Aider, Snow, Horelli, and a number of characters from Dr. Slump, Dr. Briefs, Upa, Bora, Fortune Teller Baba, Grandpa Gohan, and last but not least, the Bean Daddy himself, Korin. Goku had a plethora of quote-unquote big bads in this saga, but I'll just sum it up to the entire Red Ribbon Army and a man by the name of Mercenary Tao. The Red Ribbon's goal in this saga was to, bear with me now, make their leader, Commander Red, taller. As for Mercenary Tao, money was everything for this man. The big moments in this saga were Goku taking on Muscle Tower, Goku climbing Korin's tower and training with Korin, the introduction of the Sensu Beans, Goku vs Mercenary Tao, the destruction of the Red Ribbon Army, Fortune Teller Baba's tournament, Goku reigniting with his late grandfather, and the death and resurrection of Bora. The fourth saga was yet another tournament saga, albeit arguably the best in the series. The 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, otherwise known as the Tien Shinhan Saga, sees our heroes facing off against, you guessed it, Tien Shinhan, who at the time was a villain. This saga introduces us to him, Chaozu, and Master Shin. For the most part, Goku's only goal was to win, and the same goes for Tien. Not much to say about the saga, but what I will say is the fights in this tournament, in my opinion, are some of the best fights in terms of actual martial arts in the entire series. A lot of the fights in Z and Super pale in comparison when it comes to the hand-to-hand combat fight sequences in this tournament. But yeah, The most notable things were Yamcha vs Tien, Krillin vs Chaozu, Tien vs Roshi, Goku vs Krillin, and Goku vs Tien. Oh, also the first death of our beloved Baldy, Krillin. The 5th saga was the saga that really started to head in the direction of the Dragon Ball Z formula, and that was the King Piccolo saga. This is where we meet everyone's favorite slugman, Piccolo, or his father, King Piccolo. We also get introduced to Yajirobe and learn about Master Mutai. The goal of our heroes was to resurrect Krillin with the Dragon Balls, stop King Piccolo from achieving his goals, and for Goku getting revenge for the death of his best friend. Now, King Piccolo's goals were to wish for his youth and to take over the world. Simple and holistic goals. The crazy thing about this is, he actually achieves them, and I must say I have much respect to a villain that accomplishes the goals that he said he would. Now, the big moments in this saga include the first death of Master Roshi and Chaozu, the introduction of the Mafuba, the first signs of the Senzu Bean's rejuvenative properties, Goku vs King Piccolo, the death of King Piccolo, the birth of Piccolo Jr., and the resurrection of our heroes. The 6th saga was the final climactic saga in the original series. The 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, also known as the Piccolo Jr. Saga. This tournament saga introduces us to Earth's god, Kami, his assistant Mr. Popo, and the Demon King reincarnation, Ma Jr., more commonly known as Piccolo. This saga pits Goku against his most powerful adversary at the time. Piccolo was born to exact his revenge for his fallen father, by killing the very man who did it, son Goku. After that, his goals would probably mirror that of his father's. We don't really know what he would have done afterwards, seeing as he was hell-bent on destroying Goku, and he never achieved that goal in the first place. Well, that isn't until Z. Goku's primary goal was to stop Piccolo from killing him and taking over the world. As for his secondary goal, it was to win the tournament. The key moments in this saga were Goku's training with Kami, Mercenary Tao vs Tien, Goku vs Chi-Chi, Piccolo vs Krillin, Yamcha vs Kami in disguise, Tien vs Goku, Piccolo vs Kami, Goku vs Piccolo, the introduction of the giant form for Namekians, Goku winning the World Martial Arts Tournament for the first time, Goku marrying Chi-Chi, and although we don't see this next one, I'll put it here, the birth of Gohan. With that, this marks the end of the original series and the end of this video. But yeah, with that being said, thank you to everyone that watched this video. I hope you have a good day. Peace, peace, deuce, deuce.